In our romantic relationships, love is both a language and a dance. But for neurodiverse couples, the journey can feel both beautifully unique and sometimes incredibly challenging. I'm Mona Kay. I'm a social worker. I was married for 30 years, didn't know I was in a neurodiverse relationship until my 29th year of marriage. And I have been the host of the Neurodiverse Love podcast for the last 4 years. We are giving neurodiverse couples an opportunity to share their stories, the strengths, the challenges, and the differences of being in a neurodiverse relationship. The Neurodiverse Love Docuseries explores the paths these couples take as they share their stories of confusion, understanding, and hope. And as you watch each episode, I want you to know that you're not alone.
We're here to be honest. If you're with me, I'm making the effort. I'm talking, I'm engaging. It's only when I turn around after you've been talking to me for 2 minutes and then you've gotten your phone. And then I'm like, how does he not understand that this is the thing I've asked him not to do over and over and over and over again? That's what makes me feel like I'm never going to be first. I'm never going to be like, I want to make sure that I give Manisa my undivided attention.
I'm going to respectfully disagree, because there's times when I'm there and I've said to you, I'm here, and I said, but I really don't have anything to talk about. And you'll say, well, just talk about anything. And I don't have anything. And I'm like, well, why don't you just start? And you'll say, well, why should I do the work? You're the one with the communication issue.
Mm-hmm. A lot of couples struggle with communication, but neurodiverse couples tend to struggle with it even more.
One of the things I found challenging right away was that if I said some of the things that she said, I would mean something totally different.
The struggle with sort of trying to overcome those challenges, and like how hard I was working to try and overcome those challenges sort of bled into other issues, and I think impacted our relationship in lots of ways.
Yeah. You know, it's so beautiful and it's sometimes so painful too.
And I actually often ask him, and he can answer now, but I've asked him if he knew I was autistic, would he have married me?
I have yet to have a couple come to me and say, we're struggling with a lot of things, but our communication is going well. I have yet to hear that one.
For me, the communication issues were that my words were put into a filter that came out and it had a whole different message. Why am I saying them this way, but you're receiving them a different way? Battles of, my words mean this, so why don't they mean this to you? And that's not what I said. And he would be adamant, that is what you said. I mean, it was just a storm of miscommunication, and we just could not get out of the storm.
Autistics tend to, talk in a linear, logical kind of way, versus their non-autistic spouse tends to talk in this more like emotionally kind of way.
And it was just very frustrating to me because I thought, I'm communicating clearly, why are you not understanding? And then Willie was thinking, you're not communicating to me clearly. It just kept the cycle going.
Those language differences can cause misinterpretations of what you meant by what you just said. And it may seem so obvious to one, but the interpreted meaning to the other partner might be totally different.
You're just talking, in a circular kind of way without getting any traction or without truly understanding or hearing each other. That's where they can really butt heads.
I realized early on we had some communication differences. I just thought it was, we're a new couple, we're new to each other. He doesn't know me, I don't know him. And then as we got deeper into the relationship, I began to see that there was something else there, but I didn't quite know what it was at the time. I started taking classes to become a board certified behavior analyst, and we were talking about autism one night in class, and they were listing all of the characteristics, and I said, I think my husband is autistic. I don't want to call it elevated optimism, but I thought, oh, just saying it now, it's cured. We know what's going on now, so we got it figured out. I didn't realize that was just the beginning. Just knowing that one spouse is neurodivergent, that knowing doesn't really change anything. It's what you do with that information that's the most important thing.
I think a lot of times our communication content we don't recognize have two different agendas. One's expressing themselves through emotional lens and emotional content. And then a lot of times the autistic partner is looking for facts. When both people are talking from different places and trying to get the other person to understand that content, and the other person is seeking a different set of information and different sets of content, you constantly miss each other and become frustrated in that process.
When you talk about what you said hurt my feelings, for me, it's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, feelings.
Hurt your feeling. What do you mean? And you remember I used to say, it's a fact. That's just the way it is. That's a fact.
Yes.
And you hated that. As in someone on the spectrum, sometimes I'll just flow right out what's in, and a lot of times it seems harsh the way I say it. And I don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
The autistic spouse can be misunderstood. They're just trying to drive a point home from a logical perspective. It's right or wrong. And the non-autistic spouse is like, how can you be so rude? Or how can you be so mean?
I thought that Willie was just being defensive because he didn't want to take accountability for his actions. He would say something that hurt my feelings, and he would say, I said it, I meant it, and I'm not taking it back. It would just like a jab in the gut.
And then the other partner, who is making such strong efforts to connect, suddenly feels left, neglected, even rejected.
To teach couples to really learn and be curious about the meaning that each one has. All the time on my sessions, we'll unpack that meaning, and one or both partners are just astounded. It's like, how? I had no idea you thought this meant that.
I was saying something that was important to me emotionally. I was saying something, and Sarah walked out of the room, which she does a lot. In the middle of a sentence, what happened was a bird was making a sound that was different from the other bird sounds, or there was something on the other side of the house that needed her attention at that moment, and there was no resisting it. She couldn't say, I'm going to wait till Glenn's finished with this important topic to Glenn. I just thought, like, if it was anybody else, if I did that to Sarah, I'd be saying, I'm not interested in the crap you're saying. That's what I mean. That I've learned that's not what Sarah means. I know it doesn't come from a wellspring of you're boring me now, or you're annoying or something. It's coming from something entirely different, but it still throws me at times, and I have to translate it and say, don't think about what you would mean if you did that. Take Sarah on her own terms, but it's work.
We have to shift our communication that defers our stuff for what the other person, or we need to do more of that with the other person, how they may process and think, and what content they're looking for. And we have to sort of do more to sort of set up that success and to create those bridges between each other.
You really got to pay attention in this life to the other person. To me, that's what a big part of what love is.
For an autistic, as they may be getting more pressure and expectation about how they need to respond to their partner, there's not enough space and capacity to really do the processing. Their brain will generally shut down more.
It's like the level of engagement that Glenn loves. I can't do that. I operate at maybe 2% of Glenn's level of engagement, right? Would you say that's accurate?
That's probably a good number.
And so that was really challenging. And I just sort of took it on as, before I knew I was autistic, I took that on as just being something wrong with me.
Oftentimes you have a hyperverbal outward processor. So someone who processes either out loud or on paper with a lot of words, and then that person might be paired with someone who is not a verbal processor. And so all of those words are just overwhelming, and that will shut someone down.
Like one of our The first times that we went out, we went to
Oh,
we went to
first date?
Gettysburg
yeah.
because Glenn's a history buff. It was a long drive.
And I was reading her from a book, The Killer
He was
Angels.
reading and talking the entire time. The more he talked and the longer the time went, the more I started to shut down. I've run out of words. Nothing else in there. First 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we had the drive back and we had dinner. It's like, you love this man, just suck it up. Come on, find something, dig deep, find something to say.
As I often describe to my neurodivergent clients, everything for you is a 10, or maybe it's an 11. When you're getting more sets of information, each set of information weighs a ton, very quick for things to overwhelm inside of you.
It's like a sponge that gets saturated much faster, and it just can't soak up anymore.
And by the end of it, I was just going,
Yeah.
I had gone offline at that point, but I didn't want to tell him that.
That kind of thing, I get it much better now. I've read about it. Sarah's explained things to me. We've also had 15 years to learn our patterns better. But occasionally that's still a challenge for me. I'm sure it is for Sarah too.
The most important tool I teach couples is to pause. To pause, to break communication down into even more parts. I teach verbal processors to do that first on their own, to someone else, journaling, those types of things. And then I teach nonverbal processors to let their partner know when they're flooded so they can stop, pause, come back to it. And anytime either partner starts to notice in themselves or in their partner that any of this is happening, it's time to pause the conversation and come back to it.
What we figured out is that I do my best talking first thing in the morning. So we have coffee and it's very low light. My sensory stuff I haven't had too much sensory information yet. So I can do my best talking between the hours of 5:30 and 7. That's the window.
What has changed in our communication now? We still do have misunderstandings, but it's an awareness now. We know where we got off track, and so then we'll stop and say, okay, let's dissect this. When I said this is what I meant. And then Willie would say, oh, this is what I thought you were meaning, which is why I responded this way. And then I will say, oh, well, I was hurt because of the way that you responded, because I thought you meant this thing. And then we just kind of lay it out. And then there's an apology. It's much better because we were attacking each other. And now we're attacking the problem.
Really, we want folks to know they're not alone, that every neurodiverse couple has strengths, they have challenges, and they have lots of differences, but with the right resources and the right support, they can thrive. And if you'd like to get some additional information on the work I've been doing for the last 4 years, you can check out my website at neurodiverselove.com. Thank you so much.